Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I'm doing my normal routine, but apparently this has been of interest to people lately. How to, increase your libido, what they call sex hormones also, and, even improve your health because it's all correlated. I'm doing my water routine right now. This is how I clean my water. Why? Well, because it's the best. If you guys know anything about my channel, you know that I'm just about trying to do the best I can. And I will thoroughly research something because, well, I'm doing it for myself, to be honest. I mean, this is, excuse me, who I'm doing it for is for me. But then I share the information because I've done so much work. And by the way, I'm extremely detail oriented. What I'm learning is that the majority of people are not as detail oriented as I am. And it's one of the reasons that I'm going to start making my smoothie while I'm doing the water too. So I am extremely detail oriented, and this has really been great for me as far as, improving my health and whatnot. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people, whether it's in the health industry or even hydrogen industries, they don't have that same level of detail. And those details are what have really helped figure out how to achieve certain goals as far as your health, um, even libido, which I didn't even think would be something that I would stumble upon the way that I did. But it probably makes sense, as far as your health getting right. That is very much a part of it. And so that is, this is what I do every morning. This is what I add is the Purium powder. This is from iShopPurium.com. If you want a $50 coupon, it's Uprising144K. That's the code. But you can see the nutritional label. And the nutrients are amazing. So are the ingredients. And that's what I look for. And it's all food, so that's what I put. Now I'm going to put some flax seeds in here. And this particular morning smoothie, it's your breakfast. It's like a multivitamin. Again, I'm not making any medical claims or anything. I'm just what I do. This is what I make in the mornings, every single morning. This is my breakfast. It also gets you enough of the fiber. All these things are important for your health and even, quote unquote, in my opinion, the libido, though I do have some secret ingredients that we're going to add to this today, which help with, again, the libido and even what they call sexual performance, things of this nature. And I'm going to show you some of those right now. Now, first, start with clean water, which is what I'm doing right now. This sucker, this is what really cleans your water. It's called a carbon distiller. Now, this one I got from mypurewater.com again, because I want the best. Made in America, higher quality of metal. And not made in China. Not to knock China. I'm not trying to be mean to China, but China, they are not making the best distillers. Okay, so that's rolling as far as making that. Now, this is one of the secret ingredients. Raw cacao, believe it or not, there's data on it. And so I'm going to put some raw cacao, and it's organic. And this one's fair trade, cool. But more than anything that it's organic. And I look at the ingredients, always check the ingredients, and it literally just says organic cacao powder. That's it. And that's what I look for. If one thing you're going to notice is that my theme is that basically everything has to be food. That powder that I put in the Purium powder is just food. If you look at the ingredients, that's just what it is. It's food. And that's what I go after because the body, now remember, what I do, I go off of data. So I go off of research. I don't go off of opinions. And so the data shows, well, for one, that really clean water is going to be good because of things I've seen in the water that can potentially affect things like what they call your sex hormones. So I'm going to clean the water, which I already did, and then the powder's organic. I don't want pesticides in my food because that is also going to affect, in my opinion, both your health and again your libido and things of that nature. Because that all again, it has everything to do with your health, and so that's why we clean water, and that's why I also want organic foods. I want foods that are, well, organic, so they don't have these pesticides on them, though they will still have some, in my opinion. And that's because the data, I've seen these type of things tested. And yeah, they have some residue sometimes, not every time, but it's not even close to the non-organic stuff. The non-organic stuff definitely has, typically, not always, but typically, a very large amount that can be detected. And those things are definitely going to mess with you. They, in my, well, I say in my opinion, but they're, I mean, look, just read the data, you know, because it's out there. And I mean, we know for a fact already that glyphosate affects your body in a very negative way. And so that's why I try to stay away from it as much as possible. I know some people say things like, well, you know, it's more expensive. And it's like, look, in my opinion, is it more expensive? Well, of course, typically it is, you know. The thing is that it's way more expensive. And if anything, your health is priceless. And even if you go to a doctor, no offense to doctors, but they can't fix things really these days. I mean, for the most part, most time they, you know, they give you pills to mask things, not typically to fix things. And it's better if you can prevent. I mean, preventative is key. It's kind of like if you can prevent breaking your leg, because you don't want to break a leg and then wait forever for it to heal back up, and then it may never be the same. So it's better to prevent. And so that's what I go. That's the way that I decide to go because I rather prevent the problem rather than have the problem and then try to solve it. So, one of the things that I'm putting in here is greens. Yes, they got chlorophyll. Yes, there appears to be some data in regards to chlorophyll also, and the libido and your quote unquote sex hormones. So that's going to be important. But also the fiber. You want, believe it or not, that's another crazy one. I mean, fiber is really good. And I don't mean like taking fiber in a supplement form. I'm talking about fiber specifically from food. Why? Well, because it's different. And I say it's different because I stumbled upon research. You know, I'm always reading, guys. I'm always reading the latest, greatest data, trying to see how I can apply simple concepts to my life that are going to improve my life and improve my health or keep me healthy. And again, as a preventative care. And ultimately, vegetables have some pretty magical fibers that are, I don't know, borderline impossible to duplicate, I would say. And so, what I would do is I would do exactly what I'm doing, getting a bunch of vegetables. And most people, here's where it gets kind of weird. Most people don't consume enough vegetables. They really don't. And I'm not talking about stir-fried vegetables. I'm talking about nice, clean, organic, non-fried. Even if it's stir-fried, even if you're using olive oil, people don't like that. But look at the data. You know, it sounds like it should be good, but nope. When you look at the data, it is clearly a carcinogen. We know what carcinogens do to the human body. They are not good, so I don't use them. And to be honest, when I don't eat fried foods, I feel way better. But it takes a while because they are very delicious. So mentally, you might be like, oh, I want this, and it feels great. But physically, you know, typically people's stomach feels very heavy. Your body, especially like your gallbladder, is going to have to deal with all that oil. I like the natural oils that come from just like, and by the way, you know, seed oils, in my opinion, they're not really natural. I mean, they're natural. I mean, you could say, yeah, they're natural. They come from seeds. But it really isn't the best way to go about getting good, healthy oils. And I will show you how we're going to do that today, too, including lots of protein, but good protein. You know, there is a difference between good, healthy proteins and not very good proteins. And believe it or not, all these greens do have protein, but they also have a lot more than that. Plants have, you know, I gotta say, plants are like, they gotta be one of the most magical things there is because that's where pretty much almost all our medicine comes from. And plants have so many attributes to them. I mean, we're talking about, again, very special fibers that they're learning still to this day. We haven't learned everything about how these things affect us. But the Japanese are doing a lot of research and finding a lot of positive things. In fact, I say fiber is important, and you'd be like, why is fiber important for the libido? Let me tell you something, guys. There's clear data, clear evidence, okay, that fiber, if you consume the right amounts, is very good for your heart health, okay? The heart is definitely connected to being able to your, what I would, well, in my opinion, it's completely connected to libido and your ability to perform. And so the heart is very, very important in all this. But there's a lot of important things because you don't know what exactly might be affecting you, and it could be a bunch of different things. One of them, again, water. There's a reason that I clean my water to the fullest. Why? Well, have you guys even seen the charts? And of course I have, of what in the world is in our water, and it is complete craziness, in my opinion. Like, really crazy. Like, I mean, dare I say, borderline lunacy. I mean, it is just unbelievable what we're consuming. It's unbelievable what we're putting into our bodies, and even more unbelievable that the body can somehow tolerate it. And I don't even know if it's really tolerating it. It's, it's doing its best, and at some point I think it eventually fails. And so I'm going to show you a bunch of different ingredients that originally I didn't get these ingredients originally to try to increase libido. This was all about health, but you begin to realize that they're correlated and they do work together. And I'm going to explain a lot of that too. One of the things that might interest you. So first of all, the fiber, yes, that's going to be a huge part. And did you know, I'll give you some interesting statistics. Did you know that less than 3% of Americans consume just the bare minimum amount of fiber required by the body? So you have over 97% of Americans not even getting the minimum. And the minimum to me is not good enough. That's just my opinion. But think about that, less than 3%. There's a reason that people's stomachs are all screwed up. There's a reason that people's libido's all messed up. There's a reason that people have too much inflammation. And that's just fiber. That's just one of many things. Now, we know that food is deficient. We know that it's not being grown perfectly these days. So they're deficient in nutrients and minerals. And that's the reason that I put, for example, the first powders you saw me put in. Because this is made of superfoods. And so these superfoods really help overcome the, like the deficiency within these foods. Because this powder, this smoothie that I'm making is not just for the libido. This is also for things like, I call it like a multivitamin, but it's a food-based multivitamin. It's not normal, because taking a food or a pill for like a multivitamin is not the right way to do it, in my opinion. You really want it from your food. Why? Well, because when I saw the studies on it, I realized, man, the body responds best to food. So how in the heck are we going to get everything we need from our food? How are we going to do that? And that was something that I didn't try to do it. I wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm going to figure this out and tell the world. That's not, I was trying to figure it out for me. Like, okay, how can I get all the nutrients in my body from food? And I did a lot of research. I tried a lot of different products. And what I discovered, the good news, is that it's not expensive. It's not expensive, and it's not even that difficult. I'm doing it right now. I do it every morning. Ginger is going to be good for such things. Why? Well, it really heats up the core body temperature, really gets the blood moving. And moving the blood is a huge part of all this. But moving the blood is as important and as cool as it is. And that's something that hydrogen does extremely well. You should watch my video. I believe it's video 68. And moving the blood is extremely important. But think about this. Why is this so important? Well, your blood is actually a carrier. It's carrying nutrients. So if you don't have the proper nutrients, which I'll tell you right now, statistically, I would say the stats are, it's something like 98, 99%, something like that, of people in America are deficient in something. So people are literally running around with deficiencies. Now, if you understand anything about deficiencies, you'll understand that your body will not be at 100%. So here you want everything functioning properly, but you're not at 100%. And like I said, most people don't consume enough fiber. They're certainly not getting enough nutrients. And then they overindulge in sugar. That is a huge problem for something like the libido. One of the first things you can do if you drink soda pop is just stop drinking soda pop. That's going to be a big one. get properly hydrated, but I would recommend personally extremely clean water so you don't have stuff in your water that would affect your health and such things. And then if you want to supercharge the water, that's obviously where the magic is at, which is hydrogen. I mean, hydrogen is like one of my favorite things ever and extremely important, in my opinion, for your health. I think the human body, well, I would say that I think that it was designed for it. It's clearly designed for it because, by the way, your body produces hydrogen, just like your body produces testosterone. But at the same time, you need to give your body the right ingredients, so that it can, and the right things in order to do the magic that it needs to do. So here comes some ginger, and I'll show you some more magic ingredients. One of them was already the raw cacao. That one, apparently, there's some data. There's a reason why women love chocolate. Chocolate, but see, I don't want the chocolate with the dairy from some poor cow. God knows what it went through. I won't go into that. And also, I don't want chocolate with processed sugar. So I'm using just a pure 100% raw cacao. And the way sugar, so some people might be like, well, there's sugar in some of the fruit that you might put in there. Well, guess what? There's clear data, clear evidence that the sugar from fruits and vegetables, and by the way, I'm putting some almonds in here. I soak them in hydrogen water. It just seems to enhance them. And I say seems to, it's because I actually saw a study on it in Japan. And I was kind of surprised, actually. I was quite surprised that soaking fruits and vegetables in hydrogen would make any difference at all, but it really did. In fact, it wasn't small. It was a pretty dramatic difference. And I was like, you know what? I make these smoothies all the time, and I got tons of clean hydrogen water because I have my own hydrogen generator. Like, I'm just going to start soaking my fruits and vegetables. Why not? Make a magic smoothie. So that's what we're doing today, everybody. Okay, the next one I'm going to add is not only extremely good for you and anti-cancer, all this stuff, also helps the vascular system. Blueberries, the vascular system, is also very important for the body to function properly. And so we're going to add some of these organic. Everything that I try to get is organic as much as I possibly can. And if I can't get it, well, you can't get it, and you do the best you can. But I highly recommend it because the last thing you want is pesticides. That is not going to help your libido, but it's also not going to help your health. And apparently, some people maybe don't even realize that that's what's going on in their body. But we have some more magic ingredients here. Let's keep moving forward here. I think I'm going to let's go with the beets. Now, beets are one of the things in this smoothie that help the body produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, guys, do you even know, and I'm not talking about nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, really gets the blood vessels to open up and really get that blood flow going. And by the way, regulating pH in your blood, which vegetables have been proven to do, help also with better oxygenation. And that's going to be another important component. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a bunch of things that affect it. And some people are like, well, and everybody, especially supplement companies, they try to focus on just one thing, which I don't agree with. They'll come up with something and tell you, oh, copper's so important. Everybody buy copper. Everybody buy these copper pills or whatever, which is honestly kind of silly because you could take any component of the human body. You go ahead and pick one of the minerals, one of the nutrients, and go on and on about it and how amazing it is. And it will be amazing because all the pieces are important. It's like talking about a car and talking about how amazing these tires are. Well, yeah, it's great, but what if the car has no engine? Or what if it has a great engine, but it has crappy tires or flat tires for that matter? So everything works synergistically together. And what I tried to do instead of, buying a bunch of pills and having a cupboard full of pills, because I don't even like pills, just because I know what they use in them and put in them in order to make them. I like just the raw material. I like just the powders and the like the you're gonna see some drops I'm gonna use here. Just everything in its most cleanest, purest form. And so that's what I personally do. And I think it's been working really great. Okay, so let me add some clean hydrogen water to this. The reason that I add as I go is because if you don't add it as you go, this thing won't blend properly. And also, it gives it time for the fruits and the vegetables to start soaking up that hydrogen. And if you don't have hydrogen water, you can just try clean water. Hydrogen does do some magical things. One of the things that was discovered by, well, the #1 university in the world that researches hydrogen and actually uses it medically, they discovered that hydrogen appears to open up certain blood vessels in the body so you can actually start getting blood flow in certain areas. And here comes a magic ingredient. This is one of the magic ingredients for the libido. And it's from Japan, and it is called natto. Natto, you know, I'll have to pull it up on the computer here in regards to natto and libido. Natto libido. Those are funny words, aren't they? I like funny words. I like different languages. Funny words are funny. Okay, so natto is a fermented bean. Which, think about it, how often do you see fermented beans? Normally people want to cook beans. And look, cooking beans is great. Beans are really good for you. There's a lot of good data, a lot of fiber, a lot of protein, and really good data in regards to even cancer and things of that nature. But what I will tell you is, give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get some things ready here because I'm going to be adding some magic ingredients here in a second. Natto's got to be one of the most magical ingredients in existence, one of the most magical foods. First, to activate it, you got to stir it like this. And you may be like, no, you don't. It's like, yeah, actually you do. There is a specific scientific research that has been done in Japan, and they discovered you should stir at least 100 times. And all the good bacteria start breathing. You're going to see this thing kind of foam up and start really oxygenating. And this is not just full of fiber. Fiber is one of the themes that I was obviously just talking about, extremely important, but it's also rich in protein, but really good plant protein. And let me tell you something, this stuff is kind of bonkers because you don't even want to consume too much of it. I mean, I think they say the limit, you don't want to go past 4 of these little packs because there's just way, way, way too much protein in this stuff. And if you consume too much protein, the science shows, as we well know, will strain the kidneys. And you do not want to strain the kidneys with too much protein. In fact, if you ever look at data in regards to who lives the longest on planet Earth, it's typically associated with not huge amounts of protein. So life is all about balance. You want a balance of all these different things. But the magic part about this, yes, it's rich in vitamin K, which is extremely good for you. Yes, it has a beautiful enzyme in it called nattokinase, or I like to call it nattokinase, however you like to pronounce it. And all those things are awesome. But the one thing, and how this is going to help the libido, this stuff, and be cautious out there. Remember, this is not medical advice. Please consult your physicians because this stuff will actually cause, it's like a natural statin. It will thin your blood. Why is that a good thing? Well, because we're trying to actually thin the blood a little bit. And with the hydrogen, it can open up those ghost vessels, basically these empty blood vessels that don't get really proper blood supply. And if you have all these nutrients and you open up those magical vessels with the hydrogen, which, by the way, I drank, you guys didn't see me do this, but I drank hydrogen water before I even started this as part of my protocol. And I put down a good liter, maybe a little more actually this morning. And so I'm all well hydrated. And then when we get all this done, I'm going to show you one of the last ingredients that I'm going to put in this sucker. Now remember, everything is about cleanliness and purity. That's why I don't like foods that are riddled with pesticides. That's not going to do your body any favors. Same thing with the water. All filters are not good enough, unfortunately. You got to look at the data and how they work. And it's the same thing with hydrogen too. You want extremely clean hydrogen. People keep asking me, what about this cheap product? What about that cheap product? It's like, look, guys, if it's cheap, or even if it's not cheap, I've seen expensive ones that are terrible too, in my opinion. You're really gonna probably not want to do it. Okay, if you can't do it right, then I would actually say just don't do it. You do the best you can as far as like, not with hydrogen, but with like water. If you don't have the greatest filter in the world, well, you do the best you can, so you have some type of water filtration. With food, if you don't have organic, then you do the best you can, and you buy some fruits and vegetables and try to really wash them good. There was actually, I saw a study on this one too. They showed many different ways of cleaning the produce, and they were measuring the pesticides on the food. So let's see here. I am now doing some celery. Now celery appears to actually have some interesting anti-parasitic properties. Now, are you going to take celery and think, oh, I'm going to kill all the parasites in my body? No, that's not really the point. Somebody messaged me about that, and they're like, you're not going to kill a parasitic infection with celery. You're ridiculous. I'm like, well, of course not. I'm not saying that that's what would happen. I'm saying that if you eat something that's anti-parasitic like this on a daily basis, which I do, it's going to have a positive effect. Plus, celery has all sorts of other benefits, really great minerals, lots of fiber. And one other thing you're going to notice is there's a lot of water content in everything that I'm putting in here. Water content is important. Very, very important. Too many people are not only deficient in nutrients, and they're also not consuming enough fiber, and they're chronically dehydrated. Then they wonder why their body's like, okay, I can't do this. Or, oh my gosh, I have no libido. Things of this nature. It's because your body's trying to talk to you. Your body's trying to say, hey, something's not right. And it's funny because I meet a lot of people who, this is a little bit of a secret. I won't name names, but I'll just say there's people out there who are supposed to be into like health coaches, and they're supposed to know all about health. And the reason I know is because they contact me with, lots of questions, because dare I say, they just don't really know how to achieve certain goals. And so they need help too, and a lot of people in the hydrogen world. Just had somebody contact me recently, and boy, multiple people actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because within the last few months, and they really don't, I mean, these people are people who own hydrogen companies, guys, who have contacted me, and they do not know much, I gotta say. I know a lot of people claim to know everything, and then they call with questions, and then we start talking, and I quickly realize that they haven't done their research. And they even tell me, they're like, oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, yeah, that's why you gotta really do in-depth research and really know, dare I say, what you're doing. Otherwise, how are you supposed to get the results that you're wanting to get? Now, I know I'm missing something. Hold on a second. One of the other magic ingredients, because libido's the theme. Where is it? Oh, shucks. I did not soak them in water, so that's disappointing. I always have to soak these in hydrogen water. I'm still going to put them in, even though they're dried. And dry stuff pulls water out of your GI. That's not what you want. You want to hydrate your system. So these are raisins, sun-dried raisins, organic. I do like to soak them in hydrogen water the night before, but today I didn't get to. Why? Well, believe it or not, raisins, and grapes, of course, have shown to have a positive effect on, quote-unquote, the libido. They don't actually know why, but my contention is, I think it's because they have natural boron. And I found data that shows that boron affects what they call sex hormones. And so I'm going to show you how to get extra boron in your body, in your diet. And one of them is the one that I'm just showing you right now, is putting some raisins in there, because that's one of the natural ways to get it from food. I always prefer to get it from food. Your second best choice, according to, again, data that I read, the second best way to get it is in an ionic form. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. But the first one is always food, guys. Always food. Can't emphasize it enough. So now we're going to put some chia seeds. Chia seeds. I'm basically, you know what? I'm just going to have to make these chia seeds right in front of you guys, because I'm basically out here. So let's make some hydrogen chia seeds, or you can just use clean water, either way. These I'm going to pour in here because they're rich in minerals. They have really important amino fatty acids, and they're just amazing. There's really, I just need to rinse these out a little bit. Let's see if that'll work. I don't think it's going to work. There's some in the lid here that are stuck. They get stuck. And they're got a really good omegas. And let's show you how to make them. There is a little bit of a secret, because if you try, I'm telling you right now, I've done it from experience. I did not follow the instructions, and I realized that it just doesn't work unless you do it exactly the way I'm going to show you. And you can try your ways, because I did. Sometimes I'm a little stubborn, and I like to try things for myself. So I'm like, okay, isn't there another way? And I've learned that there isn't. So let me show you. Why do I like to put chia seeds in? Well, they also are extremely rich in fiber. You want them carrying the water, carrying hydrogen, things like this. Look at this stuff, guys. Really good source of fiber, iron, calcium, omegas, and it's really affordable. Of course, I get the organic ones, but they're not expensive and they last a really long time. So again, getting something from food, from nature, and that's why this smoothie is just so jam-packed with all sorts of wonderful things. I'm a little surprised that I created this monstrosity of a concoction because I've never seen anybody quite make one like this. And if there is, somebody let me know, because I've seen other people's smoothies, but I've never seen anything quite like this. So this thing is going to get all clumped up and turn into a mess. So what I do is, after you fill up the jar first with the water, then you put the chia seeds in, then you fill the rest of it up with water. Again, this is the order in which you do it. You want to try any other way? Go for it. And you're about to see what happens if you don't do it in this order. And they won't soak up the water quite right either. So what you got to do, immediately start shaking it. And I'm going to have to shake it for a little bit because this is not going to just, if I stop right now, it'll all start settling and turn into a clumpy mess. So chia seeds, good for the heart again, more fiber, and that's going to be good for libido also. I mean, all these things are important for your health anyway, but the magic ingredient, the one that I really noticed made things different, is the one I'm about to show you here in a second. So I'm going to set that down for a moment, but you'll see it's going to start dropping, and I'm going to have to shake it again. Actually, let's shake it one more time, guys. I know what happens if you stop shaking it for a little bit. It all settles down to the bottom and it turns again into a clumpy mess. And then those little chia seeds do not absorb the water the way they should. So, and then periodically I'll try to grab it, shake it again. And let's go with carrots. Now, carrots, I'll tell you one thing. I didn't really do any research about. I know that they're extremely good for you. And they're very inexpensive organic ones. I get giant bags of 5-pound carrots. The store was actually out of them the other day, so I grabbed these smaller ones. But even these smaller ones are cheap. They were 99 cents for 1 pound of organic carrots. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is fantastic. You know what we're missing too? I don't need to put it in, but I think I'm going to, just because they're very anti-cancerous. I did not soak them, which I should have. And usually I do. Now, if I don't soak them, am I going to kick myself and be like, you're such an idiot? No, I'm not going to kick myself, but next time I'll try to do better. In fact, I'll probably soak them right now for tomorrow. I like to soak them in hydrogen water, and this is walnut. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot. I put the almonds in there. What am I doing? I'll just throw a few walnuts in there. I'll soak those right now real quick for tomorrow. And I do like to soak them again in hydrogen water if you don't have access to hydrogen water. Now, normally, if you're really, really prepared, which usually I am, the whole process can take about 20 minutes to make these smoothies. And it's again, a multi-nutrient, multivitamin. It's going to be good for your health. You're going to get some fiber in you. You're going to get some vegetables in you, which most people just don't consume enough of. And if you just do the challenge, which I had done not that long ago, and you can just do the challenge about trying to consume enough hydrogen water in the morning that's super clean, and then do the smoothie, and that's it. Just that is going to make a difference. But we are going to add some magic ingredients. I mean, all these things are important, but we are going to do, let's see here. Somebody says, hi, happy Sunday, everybody. Love your lily. Oh, yeah, thank you. Save the live, please. And what about those Japanese carrots typically used in center of some sushi rolls? Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different types of carrots. I think in Japanese they call them ninjin, and almost like ninja. And those ones, I wonder, I haven't done research as far as seeing the huge differences, but I'll tell you one thing. When you research fruits and vegetables, which I have, and nuts, seeds, beans, the fermented nut, when you research them, you basically find a lot of really positive things. And that's why when I originally did this, I was just kind of thinking, it's funny because I was just thinking like, you know what, I'm just going to try to find affordable things. And some of them I would shoot from the hip, but I also knew that, like carrots, for example, I know that carrots have extremely powerful properties to them in regards to health. Now, as far as libido, I did not research that, but we'll look into it in a second when I sit down. I'm almost done here and we'll pull it up on the computer because I wouldn't doubt it, you know. And again, I usually go off of more like, I oftentimes go off gut instinct, even though I read a lot of data. But once you read enough data, you start realizing, well, gee, gee willikers, clearly fruits and vegetables are good for you. I mean, it's clear as day that our bodies, and they have so many ingredients in them that are so important to the human body, not just minerals and vitamins, but primarily phytonutrients and the fiber. I'm telling you right now, guys, I keep telling you about this, and I'm telling you for a reason, because there was some really amazing research on this, and it was done a long time ago. Our quote unquote government, if you want to call it that. I won't get into. I'll try not to get into religion and politics, right? The two subjects that everybody loves to argue about. And by the way, I don't like to argue with people. I'm just about facts, facts, and that's it. But I will tell you that they did research on fiber, and I was absolutely stunned. I had no idea that they'd done it quite some time ago, by the way. And you know what we're going to do? We're a little short on the chia seeds. I'm going to add some of these now that they're kind of soaked up a little bit. You can see that they're pretty well soaked, and put these in the fridge for tomorrow. Oops. Or later. Who knows? I use them in all sorts of stuff, by the way. I'm constantly using chia seeds. They're really good at hydrating the colon. You really need to get your fiber intake up. The data is clear as day, and fiber is extremely important for the human body. But the amount of fiber that we need is the part that's kind of shocking. The human body apparently needs, according to the research, way more fiber than you could have ever imagined. And even the researcher said, you know what, this is just, we can't tell this to people. And I thought, that's weird. Why wouldn't they want to tell people? They said, because this would just be impossible. Like, nobody can consume this amount of fiber. Haha, make a smoothie like this. Maybe they'll help. And so what they did is they took the absolute minimum number and they said, okay, this is the amount that we're going to tell people that they need to consume, at least, at the very least, consume this amount of fiber. I'd like to be done with a smoothie like this, but to be honest, I'm tempted to put another banana, but let me just put, you know what? We'll add some other magic ingredients. Let's do that. So they gave us the minimum number. So what we are told, as far as, by our experts, supposedly, as far as the amount that we need to consume, well, that amount, that number that we're told is actually the minimum amount we need to consume, and less than 3% of Americans are reaching that amount. So think about that. Less than 3% are reaching the absolute minimum. Believe me, guys, it is not a good recipe for good health. And especially if you're trying to get your libido to work right. And not just libido, but, sexual function, and also just your health in general. So what's the first ingredient for libido? This is the magic ingredients. Here we go. For those who were patient and waited. Vitamin D3 with K2. Believe it or not, there is data. When people are deficient in this, they seem to not have a very good libido. Now, actually, I'm not going to add that just yet. Hold on a second. What I am going to do is I'm going to add minerals. Why? Because I like to combine these minerals. Somebody kept asking me, how much do you add to your water? I'm like, I don't add much to my water. I primarily add it to my smoothie because it combines with the fibers. I've found research study on this. And I found that study after I'd already been doing this for years. But it turns out that I was right. When you combine it, the minerals with the fibers, way better absorption, super good for the bones. This is going to be noisy. I'll be right back. Smoothie going, and we're going to add some other magical stuff here. Let's actually dump this compost. And I'm going to dump the compost. We're going to let that blend. Get all that magic. The cool thing about the blender is that it chews it up for you, because most people don't chew good enough. Everybody likes to swallow their food, and chewing is very important. So we're going to do that. We're going to have the blender chew things up for us. And then I'm going to grab some hydrogen water just to cut in the jars just a little bit, and we're going to add magic ingredients that help performance and the libido. Let's go. Okay, let's go with that. And what else we got here? Okay, let's cut these with a little bit of hydrogen water. And I like to stop the blender periodically because some of the things settle down and they get chopped up. So let's do that. One more time, this last time. So we're gonna go and do that. And I like to cut the smoothie with a little hydrogen water. Everything is gonna be about opening up those growth vessels, moving the blood helping, if I need to do a video about this, helping the body, here, hold on, helping the pH of the blood, because that helps you absorb the oxygen that you're breathing in better. You don't need extra oxygen, by the way. You're getting plenty. It's just a matter of absorption. That's one of the bigger mistakes, too, that people make. They think you need to supplement it. Once in a while, it's okay. But all the time on the regular, definitely not. If anything, you actually sometimes want to do the opposite. You actually, and there's clear research on this, you want to actually use less oxygen. That's what a lot of times professional athletes do with what's called like high altitude training. You're giving yourself more, you give yourself less. And then the body, just like, yeah, anyway. Okay, let's go to the magic ingredients. Number 1, everybody left, apparently the noisy blender. D3, apparently important for the libido, sexual function, but guess what? It's also important for so many other things, especially like bones too, immune system. Super, super important. And it's actually really important for your heart. So there you go. Everything about the heart. Here's the real magic ingredient. This is the one I found lots of data. This is what got it all going. And that's boron. Remember, all of these are ionic. So I have videos on these if you want links about where to get the ones that I personally use. Okay, let's get enough of this in there. And there you go. Get some of that boron in you. Really good stuff. Now, it's actually in the minerals that I put in there too, by the way. So these also have, whoops, everything cut out there. These also have boron in them. So I put that in there also. Okay, and I'm really falling in love with this one, guys. I gotta say, I didn't think I was going to, and that's this chlorophyll. And there is actually some data that suggests that it's also good for the libido. See, normally you don't want to look for a silver bullet. And I say that because I don't think there is any silver bullet, to help. You need the fiber, you need the different minerals, you need the different nutrients, different things do different things. And so it's kind of trying to figure out that balance. And this is what I've been able to create is this smoothie to find that balance. Now, I have 2 more ingredients that we're going to add. This one I'm going to seal up and give that to somebody else. And let's grab one of my favorite magic ingredients, because I got to say, this stuff is almost like a multivitamin in itself. I am shocked at the nutritional label on this sucker. And it's only 1 ingredient. Marijuana. Nah, it's hemp. Hemp, okay? A little different than marijuana, but pretty much comes from the same plant, which is amazing that it does this. But hemp hearts, guys, amazing. Nature just has, as they say, what does it say? God created the heavens and the earth. Well, he did a great job, didn't he? He made these foods and the body loves them. The body doesn't like what man creates. It doesn't like the processed crap. It doesn't like extracting sugar out of something and processing it and then putting it in everything. But when it's natural, very different. And look, I'm all out. I used it all up. You want to know what this stuff's rich in? Just for the heck of it? Okay, look, it's got calcium, iron, potassium, vitamin E, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, folate, phosphorus, magnesium, a lot of magnesium, zinc, a lot of zinc, copper, holy crap, a lot of copper, and a lot of manganese. Holy cow, this stuff is awesome. Okay, now let's drink the final ingredient here. Let's go. Tasty. Could have used another banana. I mean, I guess you could say that, but it tastes good to me. Some people think it's too sweet. Some people think it's not sweet enough. Okay, last ingredient. Hydrogen. Let me breathe it in. Now, I will say this. A lot of people ask all this. Hold on 1 second. Take the earpiece out. Yeah, the biggest issue is if you're going to use hydrogen, especially if you're trying to increase libido, you don't want to do dirty hydrogen because there's ingredients in certain hydrogen, which I'm not a big fan of, because it's not as clean as it possibly can be. I don't like chemicals in the hydrogen, especially chemicals are not going to help your libido, I'll tell you that much. They probably will literally do the opposite. So let's look though, let's do a little research here and look up carrots. Tiffany asked that question. Well, let's see. We can look up the differences between Japanese carrots, but the one thing I want to look up real quick, just because I never thought about it. And see, I don't think about things, but yet when I look it up sometimes, my gut instinct was typically correct. Now, let's see if this is also true. Let's see. Let's see if there's any research on carrots for libido. Okay, let's see here. Turns out carrots, wow. This vegetable is known to help with balancing libido. There you go. And it has to do because of the beta carotene. This compound supports the entire endocrine system, thereby supporting libido. It also boosts metabolism. Who doesn't want that? And also strengthens the kidneys. What a surprise. See? So who would have thought the carrots were good for libido? Now, let's see here. Japanese carrots. Let's see what we can learn about that. They're probably just good for you. There's basically 4 types of carrots. Interesting. Purple, yellow, white. Yeah, lots of different kinds. Let's see what they can tell us about Japanese carrots. 4 main types. One's called the Imperator. Imperator carrots are impressive. Carrots are just impressive in general. They have long roots, very high in natural sugars, very high in antioxidants. They go deep into the soil, probably pull up good nutrients. You guys want to see a picture? They're kind of thin, and then they get really kind of fat. And that's kind of like the Japanese ones, kind of. The Nantes carrots are kind of longer and same width. Then they got these short little fat ones. They're called Chantenay. Let's see here. They also have rainbow carrots. Ooh, purple carrots. Let's see what's so special about purple ones. They have a high amount in antioxidant, a specific type of antioxidant, anthocyanin. Really good to pickle them. Yellow carrots. Let's see. I'm trying to find the Japanese ones. White carrots. Okay, lots of good information, but I'm trying to find the Japanese ones. Just because somebody asked. I guess we don't need to go too deep into the carrots. But like I said, it appears to be good for libido. In fact, you know what? Let's just see out of curiosity. How about celery? Let's see. So eating celery can actually increase a pheromone. Wow. It's called androsterone, almost like testosterone, which is a natural aphrodisiac. Wow. What a surprise. It's in my celery juice. It's in my smoothie, right? The celery's in there. Celery also contains chemicals that help dilate blood vessels. Remember I've been telling you about the nitric oxide? A lot of these vegetables that I put in here do help blood vessels open up. They also can help increase sex drive. There you go, libido. And enhance climax. Wow, I guess I might have to do a video on that one. How to enhance climax. Eat a bunch of celery. Try a veggie juice with celery. Or try snacking on this sex-boosting veggie with hummus and almond butter. If you want to ruin it. And actually, not ruining it. Those are good things. I eat actually a lot of hummus. It's got beans and almonds, but I try to almond butter. Get the right kind. So interesting, guys. Interesting how a lot of these ingredients I'm using are anti-parasitic and apparently boosting libido. I didn't even know. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What can also help you? I know bananas apparently help. We threw that in there. One of the things I like to put a lot of zinc. Zinc is in my minerals. It's in a lot of these foods. Zinc is very rich in the purium powder that I put, which is coming from food. And it's apparently one of the most important minerals needed to improve sperm health. So I guess if you're trying to like get pregnant and boost testosterone levels, look at that. Also, one of the seeds that I put a lot on my, I put a lot of these seeds on my salad is pumpkin seed. I use sprouted pumpkin seeds and very rich in zinc and apparently really good for sexual health. You can use them in all sorts of stuff. Trail mixes, salads, cereals. I put them in my salad. Let's see, bananas. We already talked about bananas. I mean, bananas have really good, what they call feel-good hormones. They contain tryptophan, an amino acid which is needed for serotonin production, which is your feel-good hormones. Obviously, a lot of potassium, which is also used to produce sex hormones. This is what I mean about not being deficient. Your deficiencies have everything to do with, libido and that type of good sexual health. Now, one of the other ones is cacao. So there's a list here that I'm reading off that they have all the things that are good for your sexual health. Cacao, we put raw cacao powder in here. Basically, they said raw chocolate. A lot of people don't like the raw chocolate. They want, what do they call it? They want the one with sugar and milk. I would not do it that way. That's why I added it in here. And it tastes very chocolatey, by the way. Raw cacao is a well-known aphrodisiac. There you go, guys. What a surprise, huh? Let's see here. Let's read. Because it is also rich in an antioxidant, actually in antioxidants called phenols, which are good for your heart. There's a theme that I've noticed about sexual health, libido, that it's connected to the heart. A lot of other things, but that's like a really important component. Says, of course, a healthy heart means a healthy sex drive. There you go. Cacao can also lower cholesterol levels, blood pressure. When you eat chocolate, you can actually increase endorphins and the same chemicals you release when you are in love. I think being in love is a good thing too. Cacao also contains phenylethylamine, I guess, one of those wonderful words. It's a chemical that boosts dopamine levels, which increases your feelings of desire. Add a spoonful of cacao to smoothies and enjoy it. Can you believe that? You can make a smoothie and, of course, inhale the hydrogen because, in my opinion, helps with the absorption of nutrients. It just enhances everything. That's probably another big thing I've noticed about hydrogen. So all that works together. How about raw nuts? There you go. Put them in here. Let's see which ones they recommend. Almonds. Did you notice all the almonds I put in here at the beginning? But also cashews, Brazilian nuts, and hazelnuts are rich in the amino acid L-arginine, which boosts the production of nitric acid in the body. A lot of these actually help the body produce nitric oxide. This will increase production of the sex hormone and promote firmer erections, better sexual performance. Nuts are also an excellent source of essential fatty acids, absolutely. That's why I put them in here all the time, which are healthy fats, which are actually needed for male sexual health. Celery. Celery's on the list. We already read about celery. So blah, blah, blah. There you go, guys. I think you get the gist of it. And all these magical things seem to be in fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds. And so there you go. All right, guys. I mean, I could look up other things, but hopefully Hopefully that answers your question. You know what? Let's look up chia seeds. Kind of chia seeds. I don't even know if they do anything for the libido, but let's see. Chia seeds. Okay, they have a special antioxidant. This is what I mean by every single fruit and vegetable and different nuts and seeds have different types of fibers, antioxidants. And it has caffeic acid, which is an antioxidant, which is beneficial for your health. But chia seed oil is one of the most valuable oils in the market today. And I like to get it for my food, right? Yes, a lot of these have oxalates. It's one of the reasons that I actually soak them in hydrogen water and inhale hydrogen, because I found data that it appears that hydrogen actually protects you from oxalates in a major way. And that's one of the reasons that I use hydrogen regularly, because all food doesn't have something negative, guys. Whether it's oxalates or, you know, meat that has, oh my gosh, don't even let me tell you what what they've discovered in some of these studies about meat, which is kind of, some of it's just being gross. So you're always going to find something negative, one way or another. And that's just the way it is with food. So you have to pick your poison, you know, see which one is going to give you the best benefit. And of course, I've been studying longevity for a long time. And so it appears to be, it's all about the fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. But yes, they do have oxalates in them. What a surprise. I mean, it's very common, by the way. Let's see here. Researchers agree that chia seeds are super nutritious. And the fatty acids presented in it increases sexual desire. More libido. My goodness. Can you believe that? Everything we're putting in this thing. Can you believe this? This thing is like practically a libido shake here. This is crazy. Never even thought about it, but my goodness. Wow. Okay, what else do we got here? Apparently, there are specific foods for your libido. One of the other ones is ginger. I put ginger in there because it increases blood flow and testosterone production. I eat a lot of avocado. Apparently, I didn't put it in here, but avocado is apparently on the list. Boy, just about everything that I'm either eating or putting in these type of things. Beans, super high in zinc, super important for adrenal function, and it's tied to pheromones. In fact, there we go. Let me look up that one. I wanted to look up natto. Let's see if there's anything for natto. Let's just find out if natto has anything to do with it. Let's see. Here we go. Sure enough. Right again, I guess. I mean, at some point, this is almost ridiculous. So it turns out that natto appears to improve libido. Why? Well, for one, it's been shown to oxygenate, and I've known about this. I've seen research on it about it oxygenating cancer cells, but it also apparently oxygenates the brain. That's going to be huge for people, in my opinion, with dementia, Alzheimer's, trying to keep their brain health sharp. Natto is also shown to be packed with probiotics, which are great for your gut health, digestion, immunity, and most likely even make you live longer. It even appears to help, wow. Gosh, it even helps with eye floaters, dissolving certain things. I'll just say that. Really rich in fiber. Let's go to, let's look at some medical research here. Transform your health with natto. Okay, here we go. Decreases symptoms of IBS. Eliminates migraines. Improves libido. What a surprise. Improves circulation. I told you it's a natural statin. Oxygenation to the brain. Improves vision by even treating cataracts. Wow. And eye floaters by dissolving certain proteins and fibers. Increases fertility. Normalizes blood pressure. Prevents deep vein thrombosis formation. Prevents kidney stones. Protects against osteoporosis. reduces and heals varicose veins and hemorrhoids, reduces brain fog, brain fog, and lowers the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Relieves symptoms from joints swelling. Natto is just plain amazing, guys. It even helps with cellular debris in the blood. That's something I'm really big about, by the way. Undigested proteins in the gut. That's what happens when you eat too much meat. You start having undigested proteins. It's really kind of dirty. It's not going to be good for your health. Excellent source of protein, which I said before, but also of fiber, vitamins, minerals, especially vitamin K, which transfers calcium into the bones, protects from cardiovascular system by keeping calcium out of the arterial walls. Look at that. Magic. Like I said, guys, let's see here. Man, I mean, I could go on and on. This is crazy. Natto is straight up magical. Okay, Griefrin says, what do you mean cleanest water without the minerals? What I mean by cleanest water, Griefin, is water that doesn't have a ton of garbage in it. Here's a lab test, okay? Look at the, and I have other charts too, but this is just one that I can show you. Each one of these things are things that are in your water. There's two lists. And then there's more, look, pages of this stuff. And more pages of this stuff. And it goes on, even to the point of, let me just skip through some of this stuff, even to the point of also biological contaminants. So we're talking about viruses, bacteria, parasites. These things are in your water. If you think that a normal water filter filters that stuff out, then you haven't done your research. This is why I do what I do. I mean, in fact, I can just show you. It's right there. My carbon distiller, filtering my water as we speak. All the time. Even radioactive contaminants. That's the one that shocked me. I didn't even know that one. I had no idea they were going to test for that. Things like uranium. It gets over 99% of the uranium out of the water. And people don't even think that this stuff's in your water. Think again. There is crazy stuff. And if you want the same one I've got, that's from mypurewater.com. And if you want a discount, you can use code UPRISING144K if you want to. It helps support the channel and you get a discount. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab more soon. I'll tell you one thing. This smoothie is really addictive. I'm not the only one who thinks that. I've had a lot of people tell me once they get started on these things, about a month or two in, and you stop, you will not feel right. This stuff is awesome. Okay, now, hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. You guys want me to read more about natto, or what do you guys want? Should I just hang up? Are you guys done? I think I've made the point, and I think that if you guys really, really, really want to improve your health and your heart health, everything, and then of course, you know, I like to breathe in hydrogen while I drink these, though I would not breathe anything that has chemicals. I also, if you use it with oxygen, I wouldn't do it regularly. I would just do it once in a while. You don't want something where you have to breathe in oxygen regularly. That's a bad idea. That usually causes problems. As far as supplementing, obviously we breathe in oxygen all the time, but when you give too much, the body begins to adapt to too much oxygen, and it's actually detrimental. You might want to read about that too. Like I said, a lot of times you actually want to limit the oxygen, not give yourself extra oxygen. You can give yourself extra for like 1, 2, 3 days, but if you get too dependent on it, that's exactly what happens. You become too dependent. Okay, do you guys want to hear about, well, I could read to you, let's see, there is certain foods for longevity, and natto is one of them. Sticky fermented soybeans are packed with probiotics, great for your gut health, digestion, immunity. This is according to a registered nutritionist, blah, blah, blah. They contain a very good amount of protein, calcium, iron, potassium, zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin K. They're actually really high in vitamin K, which is super important to maintain healthy bones, mineral density, and heart health. There you go. Enjoy it. It does say, this is what they say about it. It's got a pungent acquired taste
But with time, fans grow to love their cheese-like flavor. I don't know if they taste like cheese, but all I'll say is that I absolutely love natto. Thank God for the Japanese. We never know about natto if it wasn't for them. So delicious. Okay. Coffee. Well, coffee. That's for longevity. And green tea. Yeah. Well, apparently starfruit is good for that too. All right. You know what, guys? I don't know. I think I pretty much, let's see. I don't know if that answers your questions, Griffin, about the cleanest water. Clean the water completely. You can always add minerals. Adding minerals is easy. It's clean the water is what's hard. Geez, guys, anything else? I feel like I'm touched on everything. I mean, well, what else can we look into? Oh yeah, I was looking, thanks for your answers, says Griffin. You're very welcome. Well, we already found that natto is good for, that it's good for a lot of things. I think that one of the things I was looking into, I noticed that hydrogen, by the way, I live in the Netherlands. Oh, very cool. Thanks for joining us. They're using hydrogen in fertility clinics in Japan, by the way. And let's see here. I'm trying to find information. Well, I guess that's probably about it. I think I've hit on this point enough. I hope I answered everybody's questions. If I didn't, I don't know, comment now or forever hold your peace there. Because I can answer any more questions, but I'm about to hang up. I got things I got to do, guys. This is fantastic. It tastes so good. It does so many things. Apparently it increases your libido. I didn't even think about that. It gets all your nutrients, tons of fiber, hydration, good for the heart, a lot of protein. Oh my gosh, this thing is so full of nutrients. You guys want to hear about boron? Or no? Is that pure cacao? Yes, it's pure organic raw cacao. Now, Healthline, wow, Healthline apparently did, really, they did a story on this? Look at that. Boost testosterone and even treat erectile dysfunction with boron. What did I tell you guys? Boron. It's in here. Wow. Boron is a natural element, and it is found even in rich mineral deposits within the earth. I tell you, the earth is a magical thing, guys. We could go on and on about what boron is, but let's see what boron does. It increases the metabolism of the total testosterone in the body, which is used for many sex-related functions. Increase free testosterone by 25%. Holy cow. That's pretty impressive. It reduces inflammation. Wow. Wow, by more than half. Allows more free testosterone to bond with proteins in your blood, which can even have more benefits as you age. Fantastic. Boron. Research. Lots of research. In 1993, wow, in 1993 they did a study on 19 male bodybuilders. Let's see. They took a 2.5 milligram boron supplement for 7 weeks. It did not really make a huge difference, it said, as compared to the placebo. And I would say right here, this is exactly what I mean. One, they didn't use it in food. I'm usually like getting it in food, pairing it with fiber, and it's ionic form, and they didn't do any of that. So why exactly did they find out that it worked though? Let's see, so it apparently, now I'm curious, right? I'm like, okay, what exactly did they do here? And why did they find that boron actually does work? Because they did a study in 1993 showing it didn't work much. So where is this real information coming from? This is where I get curious. Oh, looks like somebody asked a question. Is that pure cacao? Yes, it's pure cacao. It's not sweet at all. That's right. I don't like putting sugar in it. I think sugar, in fact, here, let's see, boron and ron. Go boron. Bulky Pug. What's the drink? I just made a whole video showing how to make it. Ski says, I accidentally ordered organic cacao that's not raw. What's the difference? Just learning. I think it's okay if it's not raw, but yeah, raw is exactly what it says that it is. And you know what? Now I want to research something real quick. What was I thinking here? I don't want to forget. It had to do with what did someone just say something? Let's see here. Talking about boron, pure cacao. What was it? Shoot. I got a little sidetrack there. Boy, this is almost gone. I want more. Give me one second. Let's do this. I'm going to scrape every little bit I can out of this thing. I wanted to look up something. Now I can't remember what it was. A lot of different things. But you know, this drink, as somebody was just asking, it's a smoothie that I make for nutrition. I didn't do it originally for libido, though people seem very interested in this subject, and mostly because I don't know if there's a lot the doctors can do for it. I guess, I mean, you could pump yourself full of testosterone, but the problem is, look at the research about what that's going to do to you in the long term. I mean, you could do a little bit here and there, I guess, but I will say I'm not a huge fan of synthetic stuff, especially synthetic hormones. I mean, I go so far as to even avoid certain foods with hormone, because hormones that enter your body from an outside source tend to disrupt your hormones. I like to give my body everything that it needs to produce its own hormones. I think that the ones we produce are way more magical and better for our body and our health. That's my personal opinion. And maybe someday, because I can explain to you why, but I won't go into it. It's probably too much of an explanation. I'm almost done with this video. Chlorophyll, we didn't get into that, but I did look it up the other day. Seems to have some potentially positive effects in regards to today's subject matter, which we're just talking about libido, sexual health, but it's all related, guys. That's the thing I'm trying to get at. It's all related. That's why this smoothie does so much. And then you pair it with clean water. And then, of course, look, the magic ingredient after all this stuff is amazing. But the one magic thing that brings it all together and is just ridiculously amazing is hydrogen. Let's see here. Let's say. Okay, what are we doing here? Let's that up real quick. And I'll be right there for any questions. Okay, guys. I think I'm pretty much done here. Maybe I'll take a few more questions because I'm going to finish up my smoothie and I'm going to inhale even more hydrogen. I just finished with a 30-minute session apparently. And let's look into this a little bit more. Let's see here. Bulky Pug says, I'm looking forward to my libido knocking the cosmetics off the dresser in the morning. Well, good for you. I mean, it's a part of life, you know? If you know what I'm saying. Okay, I know what you're saying. Well, very good, guys. It looks like that's all the questions today. So I think I'm going to let you go. I'm going to keep inhaling my hydrogen, finish my smoothie. Thanks for hanging out. You know what? Here's one. Let's see if I can find something about this. Let's see. Well, here we go. Here's another one for libido, guys. Proper hydration. I had a feeling about this because libido is a term that is commonly used to describe sexual drive or desire for sexual activity. If you don't drink enough water, it will affect your sex hormones and libido. So, clean, but see, they don't tell you about clean water. Like clean water, proper hydration. And what does hydrogen water do? Have you guys read about this? How it helps hydrate the body even better from, it appears to do that. That right there, look at that. Okay guys, so many ways to improve all these things. So, okay guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to support the channel. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you guys next time on the next one.